Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new locals feature match. Here we are in the fourth and final round, where we have yours truly on the left piloting Speedroid versus my good friend Andy on the right playing the Swordsoul Tenyi deck that I'm pretty happy to see, you know, gaining some popularity again in this tier dominated format. If you guys want to see the deck profile of the Speedroid list that I am playing in this current video and that I've been playing in the past a couple of Saturday night locals videos, I recently uploaded that. I will leave a link to it in the top right for you guys to check out. So we will see my man Andy here win the die roll, and he will choose to go second. Now, as soon as I see the Swordsoul emergence, right, somebody who has quite a bit of experience playing Swordsoul back in you know, middle of 2022, around you know, YCS Hartford era. Very, very seasoned with the deck. Know how to stop it. Know how the play lines work. And as soon as I see a Moe reveal Adhara, you know I'm firing that Effect Veiler. Especially since I've got another Effect Veiler in hand. I'm like, alright, just please don't have Long Yun pitch, you know, something like Ashina. That'd be very, very strong. But he does not have it. So, in typical Swordsoul fashion, an Effect Veiler does end the turn there. And I'm also kind of lucky he didn't have the Vessel for the Dragon Cycle. Or not Vessel, Heavenly Dragon Circle. But I will lead my turn after drawing by summoning Kashtira Unicorn. Not only is it a wind extender, but it's also a level 7 for reasons you'll see momentarily, especially if you haven't seen the profile yet for Speedroid. So I will go ahead and search out the Kashtira Birth off of the Unicorn, and then I'll special summon the Ascendant of Thunder, which is going to help out with that rank 7 engine paired with the Kashtiras, help get access to Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosac, which is going to help me summon out some tokens to help get into the Speedroid engine. And luckily for me, the Dracosac is going to force out a Forbidden Droplet, and he'll send off a copy of Adhara. And I'm like, alright, I haven't normal summoned yet. I've got Birth in hand still. I've got ways to go. I've got plays to make. And we're going to use that Birth here. Bring back the Unicorn, and then normal summon Mecha Phantom Beast Tetherwolf. And Tetherwolf is going to go ahead and special summon out a token. Mandatory effect on summon to bring out a token. And Tetherwolf has a unique effect where it, well, I guess it's unique to all Mecha Phantom Beast monsters. They gain the level of the combined levels of all Mecha Phantom Beast tokens on the board. So that means that Tetherwolf is going to gain the 3 levels from the token, which means he is going to go up to level 7. So now this interaction that happened here, I messed up because I don't read my own cards. Partially because they're in another language, but I also just forget the small nuances. That Tetherwolf actually cannot be destroyed by, I believe it's battle or card effect, while there's a Mecha Phantom Beast token on the field. So when he used that blackout there to pop both my Mecha Phantom Beast token and my Tetherwolf, he technically should not have been able to destroy the Tetherwolf there. I believe that's how that would have worked. That's on me. It is what it is, though. I do go to the battle phase here and swing him with Dracosac, even though it is halved, and I do swing with the Unicorn. And I do remember, despite I did forget a couple times in one of the locals POV episodes, but I do end up taking a look at the extra deck there. And I think I banished Baron. I know I banished one level 10 Synchro, but either way, we're going to go into main phase 2. And I technically should still have that Tetherwolf on my field, would have gotten in a little extra damage, and would allow me to get access to Rubber Band Shooter in main phase 2. And would have put me a little bit farther ahead getting into some more Speedroid plays there. But then again, you know, I don't read my own cards, and I do apologize. But, you know, these things happen, right? So it's a secret effect of Tetherwolf that, you know, 9 times out of 10 I might forget. But my opponent is going to go ahead and lead here with the Ashina. And I will, on resolution, activate Kashtira Unicorn and take a look at the extra deck here to rip another card from it. And there, now I get rid of the Baron. I think I might have gotten rid of Cheng Ying before. But them losing their level 10 synchros, I feel like does make the deck lose a little bit of steam. It's not as free. Like, Unicorn doesn't feel as free in this matchup as it might against something like Tier. If your opponent is still being on the one kit Kala strategy, which I know some people have moved towards too, because of Unicorn's existence, which I guess makes them lose a spot in the extra deck, which I guess isn't so bad. But, you know, this Swordsoul extra deck has so many different things going for it that, you know, one particular banished, maybe outside of a Baron or maybe a Shaman, that's really all I can think of. I mean, most builds typically play 2 Boxia, So I guess you could argue maybe, if they only play one Boxia, clearing a Boxia could be strong, because that's going to make them lose a lot of board clearing capability. But I feel like they're big boss monsters and level 10 sinkers that give them good control of the game in certain points is definitely like something you can't go wrong with, like Baron especially. Baron's just like absolute powerhouse card for Swordsoul. So we're going to go ahead and see him summon out Vishuda, and then link that Vishuda into a second monk. I was really thinking about going for a monk. Like, I just start picking away his monks, and that really turns off the Tenyi engine. So that could have definitely been a viable strategy, because, if I would have banished a monk on my turn, and then a monk again on his turn, he's got one monk left, which you really... I mean, you can still work with, but would definitely put him in a bit of an awkward spot. So now he's going to go ahead and use that Vishuda, bouncing back the Draco Sack, and then he's going to use the Adhara to go ahead and add back that banished Ashina there. Also got to keep in mind that they are currently worm locked since they have used Ashina this turn. And I think the only real play our Swordsoul player has available to us here is the classic Shaman play. We'll have to link off both the monks into Shaman of the Tenyi discard. They still have that Mo Yi engrave. They've got that Ashina in hand. And if that other card in hand isn't a Swordsoul card, they're going to be forced to discard that, non-engine card. Might be a decent defensive card like a Droplet or something to be able to get that Mo Yi online and be able to get something going. Granted, they'll only be able to go for Draco Berserker because, I mean, they technically still could go for something like Chi Jiao, but they won't be able to use its effect. And I do have the Effect Veiler again, which honestly, double Effect Veiler, especially when the Swordsoul player does not have something like Dragon Circle, it's just always going to be really, really rough for them. So, as expected, he is going to pass turn there after that Veiler, after investing quite a bit into that play. And pass turn, I'll draw. I do have Duke in hand that I had from a previous turn. So I do decide to normal summon the Duke here. Now, I think I might have prefaced this before, but I am still relatively new to this variant of Speedroid. Still need a lot of work and testing with it. I'm sure if Aerosol sees this, I'm sure he'll point out maybe a thing or two, maybe even more that I could have done a little bit more optimally. But I opt to link into the rubber band shooter here. I was getting a little greedy, but I kind of felt like I was in the driver's seat here. And after watching him discard a Droplet off that Shaman, like, I kind of allow myself to take a bit of a more risky play, especially since I know the last card in his hand too is Ashina right now. I don't really have to worry about getting interrupted by any unknowns at this point. So I could have gone for Baron and then used Birth to bring back Unicorn, popped the Shaman, and then swinged in for 55, and that would have been game. So yeah, that definitely would have been the more optimal route, but I guess I'm going the scenic route here. So the Terror Top will add Tekatomborg, and we'll special summon Tekatomborg, not special summon Droll and Lockbird. Not going to do that. Now, another thing I could have done here is use my additional normal summon, I believe, on the Tekatomborg. Well, I guess that wouldn't matter because I'm still using the tribute effect, which is win locking me anyways. I was going to say if there's a way maybe a Dawn Dragster play would have been viable there, but we don't really need it. Piper's going to go ahead and activate 3 after getting spec'd out by that Tekatomborg. And I think here I would be in my best interest to probably take the Car Turbo because I can Synchro 7 into like a Fast Dragon and then use the Car Turbo to get into Baron and just clean up there, basically. The Droll and Lock in my hand is really not doing too good here, but I mean, regardless, it's gonna be game here. I just, again, took the scenic route here because sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment, those really simple plays that should stand out to you, and sometimes they do, and, not always on my game. Sometimes those simple plays that slip away, and, luckily here it doesn't cost me, but it definitely can. There's definitely been situations where going the in quotes scenic route, as I guess I'll call it for this video, will definitely cost you. And it's actually interesting to think about how sometimes in Yu-Gi-Oh! The simple play is so easily overlooked, and it often ends up being the better play. And, in order to be able to recognize that sometimes is like a lot harder than it seems like it should be. So as we head into game 2, quick shout out to Imperium Duelist. They did drop a brand new Legacy Cloth playmat, which I did not have in time for this locals because this was filmed back on January 7th. But I will be using it, and I did use it in the recent Speedroid profile. Beautiful, soft, legacy-looking cloth playmat. Looks amazing. Check it out, guys, on their site. It's probably sold out by now, but if it is, they've got amazing mats outside of that on their site as well. And deck boxes, sleeves, binders, and backpacks, and more. Check them out. Link below. Don't forget to use my discount code WinterKill. Send off at checkout. And don't forget to use my TCG Player affiliate link at the description of all my videos down below. Anytime you guys shop and check out using that link, a small bit of the revenue will go right back in your purchase and helps out a ton. Kind of like this Cosmic Cyclone is going to help out quite a bit. So Valor, unfortunately, being the demise here of my Swordsoul opponent. Now he does shotgun that anti-spell, and I have the Cosmic, and I was very tempted to just get rid of the anti-spell, right? But then I'm looking at my hand, I'm like, I have no other spells in my hand, so why not just go after the unknown right now and get rid of it? So that is what I decided to do, and I'm very lucky I did that because it was a rivalry of the Warlords. Now, a lot of the Speedroid monsters themselves are machines, but a majority of the good extra deck pool is not machines. I'd be basically playing Dracosac control, and I don't think there's any level 7 or any wind synchros that are machines in the extra deck. I'm thinking, I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. It literally would just been Dracosac and Rubber Band Shooter. I'm probably forgetting something, but either way, we make Charge Warrior. We draw a card. We're doing a very simple play here. Piper excavates one. It's Ash Blossom. Huge in a simplified game state like this. We go into Baron de Fleur, and I was going to think about popping the anti-spell, but I know in a situation like this, and I've been in a situation like this as a Swordsoul player myself, and somebody who just uses anti-spell to begin with, if that anti-spell doesn't hit different right off the bat and the opponent doesn't clear it for you because they want to be able to use their spells, it makes things really awkward for you on the other end because now your anti-spell is actually starting to hurt you. This means any top deck like Vessels, I don't even know if they're playing in it, but top deck Vessels, Emergences, and things like Pot of Desires are going to be offline for that particular turn, and I knew that going into this, so I was like, I'm just going to leave it because, again, I don't have any spells to work with, so I might as well let it hurt him if it is hurting him more than it is hurting me. And I'm feeling pretty confident with Ash and Ogre in hand, and what looks to be, I think that's Fenrir. Yeah, I think I have Fenrir in hand as well, so I have Ogre, I have Ash, I have Fenrir, so if the Baron gets cleared right, I'm kind of in a good spot here. They're going to summon out the Adhara here, link that into Monk. And it looks like they have another anti-spell in hand as well, and looks to be Ecclesia, which is really strong here, but they know I have the Ash. It's very bittersweet at this point. They're going to go ahead and use the Ecclesia. I'm going to fire the known Ash, and at that point, he's looking at the other anti-spell in hand, and might as well just set it as a bluff. And he goes ahead and passes turn there. And can't really see what I draw off the top there. Looks like it's a spell card. So now I'm actually feeling a bit more inclined to perhaps clear that anti-spell. And it looks like I do. It's a Pot of Prosperity I ended up seeing. So I pop the anti-spell. Now that I've drawn a spell, I'm like, now I can freely get rid of it, right? But he flips up another one, and I'm thinking, okay, do I want to negate this? Is this something I really want to negate right now? I was kind of debating on whether or not I actually wanted to, because I'm like, I could use this Prosperity to try to get a little bit deeper, but he's also top decking. You know, both decisions sound kind of good, but I decided, you know what? I'm going to let the anti-spell resolve, and I'm just going to go battle phase, attack over the Monk, and pass turn. We set the Prosperity, and we'll just use it next turn, because he is on a 1-turn clock. He's got to draw something insane here. It'd probably just be an Ashina. I mean, Vishuda is also really good here too, but I mean, yeah, I guess it's good that I didn't use the Baron Negate, because the top deck Vishuda would give him a turn or two. Or Ashina. Ashina would probably be better because I can get access to Vishuda and create more bodies. But he's gonna go ahead and special summon the Baron, the Vishuda, and I don't negate it. I let it go through because, you know, there's no immediate threat. So I know he's still gonna try to use the graveyard effect, and he does. And obviously, I decide to negate. So I believe he targets the Baron. And at this point, now that he's got an extra body on field, it's I think I mess up a really basic thing here, where I just don't use Baron to pop the Monk, and I draw Dark Ruler for turn. So yeah, I just go battle phase, or no, I think I just pop and swing for game. I thought for a moment I might have forgot to pop, and I only attacked him for 2k, but yeah, that is going to be game. And Pot of Prosperity might have dug me into more there. And that is going to do it. Speedroid taking it 2-0 over Swordsoul. I think Speedroid's always had a good matchup against Swordsoul regardless. Last but not least, a big shout out goes to our Divine Level channel members who are Pony Start, Cadillac 84, H8 Cyber, and Misfit. Thank you guys so much as always for extremely kind and very, very generous support of this channel.